and welcome to the Living Room, brought to you by Curzon Home Cinema. If you're watching this live, you can join the conversation in the comments in YouTube and Facebook, or on Twitter with the handle @Curzon Cinemas, and please use the hashtag Curzon Living Room. Today I'm talking to the writer-director of The Girl with the Bracelet, Stéphane Demoustier, and its star, Melissa Guers. Hello, Stéphane.
Hello, everybody.
And hello, Melissa.
Hello.
Thank you for joining us, and congratulations, both of you, on an excellent film.
Thank you to you. I'm very happy to be with you tonight. I'm in Paris, but we are together. It's a miracle of technology. I'm very happy.
And where are you at the moment, Melissa?
I'm at home.
In Paris as well?
Oh, yes.
Cool.
No, near Paris.
Right. Let's start with you first, Stéphane. The events that unfold the film, I gather, are loosely based on actual events that took place in Argentina.
Yes, that's true. At the very beginning, there is a true story that occurred in Argentina. I was interested when I was told about this story. I said, okay, I like this story if I can imagine how do the parents live this story. The point for me was, do we know our children? And of course, we do not know our children. And I said to myself, in this story, if I was the father of the young girl, it would be awful, and it would be interesting to make a movie with this point of view. And I made no inquiry, I made no research about the true story, but it was the point at the very beginning that gave me the direction and the inspiration to do this movie. And there is an Argentinian movie, Acusada, that was shooted at the same time as mine. So I just read the screenplay of Acusada to be sure that we were not doing the same movie, because to be sure that they did not choose the same point of view as me. And that was the case. And that's why I said, okay, I can go forward to this film.
I haven't seen Gonzalo Tabal's film, but it struck me when I heard that there was this other film that France is a very different place to Argentina, and the relationship in Argentina between the Catholic Church and morality is very different. So I was just curious about did you actually see the film, or no, did you just read the script?
I did not see the film. During a long time, I did not see the film because I did not want to be disturbed by this movie. I wanted to forget the true story and to forget the other story, just to focus on my inspiration and how to make this story be mine and be a French story. So I did not want to see the movie for this reason. Now I could see, but I did not yet. Maybe I will, but the global story is the same, but indeed the context is very different, and in a cinematographic way, I know it's very different. But I did not see it, so I don't know.
The first film that you made, this is your third feature, and your first feature, 40 Love, was also based on a true story. I'm curious about your fascination with starting off with actual events and moving on, or is it just pure coincidence that you pick two stories that way?
No, I think it's not a pure coincidence, but I like that a movie says something about the world in which we live. I like that a movie asks questions about our society, our life. So I think it's the reason why I like to start with a true story, probably. I'm not aware of it, but yes, you're right. My first one was, my first feature film was based on a true story. That was the story of a young tennis player who decided to give poison to his opponents just to win. And it was a very famous event in France because that was crazy. And I thought to myself, it is not only about tennis, not only about sport, it is about the importance of success in our society, the importance of being the best, of the place of competition in our society too. So I said, it's not only about sport, so I can do a movie about that because it asks questions about our society. And that's what interests me. After you have to, yeah. And the second feature film was a movie with my children. So They were just 3 years old when we did it. So it was not based on a true story, of course, but it was based on true characters because they could not play. They were as they are because they were so young that they could not play. And I had to deal with this reality, in fact.
Melissa, I want to come on to you and your first reaction to reading the script. First of all, did you know what the court decision was when you were first handed the script to read, or did you find out as you read through it?
Sorry, but can you repeat, please, and
Yeah,
more
sure.
slowly?
No problem at all.
I'm sorry.
When you first read the script,
Yes.
did you know what the end was, or did you find out as you read it?
No, I found out as I was reading it.
And what was your reaction?
I was like, so she did it or not? But then, yes, that was my first reaction.
Yes.
Because it was the first. Comment on dit scénario déjà?
Screenplay.
Ah oui, it was the first screenplay that I was reading in all my life. So it was hard for me to really understand and to comment on dit visualize.
Yes, visualize.
And to see, yes, and to visualize the how. Like I'm really bad at reading script.
And sorry, go on.
And also, I don't always know how to react to a script play because I really don't know how to. To me, it's like, but it's not letters. It's something audio visual. So really, I don't like script play.
What I could add is that when I watched this movie, I wanted I said to myself and to my crew, we can manage this movie only if we have a great actress to play the main character. I wanted someone who was new, someone who never played, because the character is just 18 years old. So I said to myself, we have to find someone new, someone who never played. So Melissa was not used to read screenplays because she never played in any movie. So she just answered to an advertising that she had seen on Facebook. And it is also what I wanted, someone new, someone without any idea of what is cinema, what is playing in a movie, someone with this freshness, and she had it. She had her nature, the way she is was interesting me, and I wanted she is. I did not want that she played too much. I did not want her to be different as the way she is in her life, because it is her nature that I liked. And I discovered when we did the movie and during the casting too, that she was a brilliant actress. And that was perfect. But at the very beginning, she, above all, was someone who did not know anything about films, and that was a change for us.
It is. I mean, as a first performance, it is an extraordinary performance that you give throughout the whole of the film.
Thank you.
Thank you. I'm just curious about developing the character of Lise, and it might be a strange question to ask, but did you have to find a way to like the character and then find your way through that, or how did you sort of build her up?
Yes. You asked the question to me.
Yes.
Okay. Yes. At first, it was not like I didn't like her, but it was like I didn't understand her. But really, at the first. But then quickly, I understood her because I had to go back to me when I was her age. Yes, because it doesn't seem like that, but I'm a bit much older. And so I had to go back to the high school area. And I remember how I was, yes, muting like her. when because I didn't know how to talk about things. I didn't know how to name things. I didn't know how to explain what I was feeling, what I was going through. And I think that this is what is happening to Liz.
I thought one of the interesting things that I don't think I've seen before, and particularly in a courtroom, when it's someone that age standing trial, is, and it struck me that when you don't speak, when you're silent, it is not because you don't want to speak, but perhaps Lise is just someone who at that moment in her life doesn't have the words to be able to use, which I found quite incredible to watch.
Yes, I think too that she doesn't know how to talk about it.
Now, I have a question from Eleanor in London.
And also I think that she doesn't see the problem. She doesn't see how everyone is looking at her like she did something important.
Yes.
Because to me, we can see Liz as innocent or not innocent. But if she's innocent anyway, what she did. No, I mean the courtroom was shocked by her sex life and everything, and not only because of the murder, because there are no proof.
Yeah.
So and to her it's like what the fuck? Why are you talking about this? It's like to her it's not important. She doesn't understand where the problem is.
I've got a question from Eleanor from London, and this is for both of you. And I'm not sure if you want to answer this, but what do you both think about her guilt or innocence in the case? Or is this something you've agreed never to talk about? Whether she's guilty or innocent?
No, I understand that Elena asked this question. That's normal. It's a question. Indeed, at the very beginning, Melissa asked me, am I guilty or not? Because it would influence the way she will play in the film, and she wanted to know, am I guilty or am I not guilty? And I told to Melissa, you have to decide. I don't know if she's guilty or not. I watched the screenplay in the point of view of her parents. It's a movie about confidence. It's a movie about interpretations too. What do we believe? How do we interpret the behavior of someone? So I wanted to be in the same situation as the people who will see the movie. So I don't know if she's guilty or not, but as everybody, I have my opinion, and I hope, as for me, I would answer that I hope she's not guilty, because I like the character of Liz. I like her. I understand her. So I want her to be innocent, but I'm not sure she is. I'm like her parents.
What about you, Melissa? Of whether Lise is guilty or innocent, have you decided, or are you happy to leave it?
She told everything during the movie, Melissa, but you can answer.
Really? Quoi, Stéphane? Tu viens de dire que je peux dire là?
Non, j'ai dit que tu avais dit pendant le procès, mais tu peux répondre à sa question, mais évidemment.
Ah, ok. No, I said everything before.
Okay, fine. So staying with the character, and this is a question for both of you. I mentioned she's fascinating because at times she doesn't speak, and because of that, she's inscrutable. It's very hard to read her. Could you both talk about how you worked to create Lise, of finding the balance between this restraint of hiding herself and also then expressing emotion, perhaps with her friends, with family, and obviously in the final scenes? How easy was it to find that balance between the two?
It was a matter of, we always were looking for a balance, as you said. The difficulty when I was looking for Melissa, for Liz, is that I wanted to find someone who had a big, who was mysterious, but the danger was a form of opacity. Is it English, opacity?
Yes.
Yeah. And I wanted her to be mysterious. I wanted that the public always want to know more. I wanted the public wants to look at her. And the danger was that after 15 minutes, people say, okay, it's enough. She never speaks. I don't want to look at her anymore. And Melissa had the intensity for this play. She was able to keep silent and to be fascinating. And so I would say that it works because of Melissa. She was during the casting the only one that had this ability to keep silent and to be fascinating. And it was also a matter of editing. When we were editing the movie, we always were looking for a balance between her silence, when she could, when we could speak, but also elements that could let think that she's guilty, other elements that could let think that she's innocent. I always wanted to preserve the two possibilities and to balance it, and that was a matter of editing. So that's why we were very careful of all of that, and it was we had to be very tiny, very precise.
Now, in terms of creating Lise in the screenplay, obviously, Melissa, you're around the age that Lise is in the film when you were filming. But from your perspective, Stéphane, did you speak to many teenagers and to get a feeling of how they would speak and how they would behave?
I spoke to two categories of people during the writing of this film. I spoke to a lot of lawyers, because I wanted to be sure that I was that it was not fantasy. And I talked to young people because I wanted to be sure also that it was not my fantasy, my the idea I could have me of this age, because I'm not this age at all. But I was very interested by this age because when you're 16, 18, you're at the beginning of your, at the end of your childhood, at the beginning of your adult time. So it's an age, the things are moving always. It's an age you still have, you believe in things, you still have ideals too. So it's a fascinating age. So, but I look at this age as a foreign territory, and I look at a young girl this age. It is an absolute foreign category for me. I am a male and I am older. So I had young people who read the script and told me, yes, it's okay, it's like that. And I was happy of that. And I'm very happy when we show the movie to young people, for example, who are in high school, etc. I like a lot their reaction, and I notice that they often say that it's relevant, that it is like they live. So I like it. I'm proud of that. I'm not proud of my film because it's too much to say I'm proud, but I'm proud of that.
My niece, who is 18 years of age, watched the film this afternoon, and she said, yeah, I can relate to her, which is probably the biggest compliment that she can give. You mentioned the other category was people in the legal services. Did both of you go and look at trial and watch trials in courts as research? You're shaking your head, Melissa, no?
No, me no, because Stéphane wanted me to keep my innocence.
Fair enough.
Yeah, I wanted her to, as I said, to be fresh, and her character has no reason to have gone to a trial before, so I wanted her to discover it. And so I said to her, don't go. And of course, I went many times to attend to trials because I wanted to see, I wanted to steal ideas, because when you are a filmmaker, you always want to take ideas. So I went for this reason. I went also because I wanted to know how they speak, how they move in the courtroom, because I only had seen movies, but I did not know what is a real trial. And it's very addictive when you went to a trial. It's like a movie because there is a dramaturgy, you know.
Yes.
You are always waiting for the next testimony and waiting for the final decision of the judge. So there is a suspense, and it was a chance for me when I was waiting the movie, because I was writing trial, and a trial as a suspense. So my movie has a suspense because it's due to it. So it was a chance. So I went, and it gave me ideas. For example, the prosecutor is played by a young girl, Melissa Demoustier. She's my sister. But when I wrote the screenplay at the very beginning, I thought that it would be played by an old man with a beard and heavy body, because I thought to myself, when you are a prosecutor, you're not you have to be like that. And when I went to trials, I saw that there were a lot of young prosecutors, young girls who played this function. And I thought to myself, it's very interesting, because it's not. In this movie, we can see that two generations have difficulties to understand each other. The parents had difficulties to understand their young girl, for example, yes. But it's more complicated than it. And for example, the prosecutor is a young girl, but she's very, very far from the girl with a bracelet, because she's not at the same place in the society. So it's not only a matter of generation, it's a matter of also open mind or not, of many things. And so I think it was interesting. And it's due to the fact that I went to real trials, and that I was inspired by what I saw.
I've got some questions regarding the courtroom scenes from the audience. First of all, Simone from London says, I love the movie and I love the performances. Did you watch any classic courtroom films in preparation or in research?
Yes, I did. I watched a lot, and I had two references. One is Le procès de Jeanne d'Arc from Robert Bresson.
Oh, Bresson, yeah.
Huge filmmaker, because when you do a movie, you have to look at the top. So but I like very much the process of Jeanne d'Arc, because I like the way he does film this young girl, and I like the grace, yes, the grace of the young girl. And we were looking for that sometimes. We were looking for the same, for the same distance also between the camera and the character. It was very interesting to see this movie for it. It was an aesthetic reference. And also an Israeli movie, which is
Yes.
the process of Viviane Abkarian from René Telkabetz, movie from René Telkabetz. Why? Because it is a trial. The movie is...
No, c'est Viviane Amsalem.
The process of Viviane Amsalem. It's a movie from René Telkabetz. And it's a 2 hours and 30 minutes long movie. You never goes out of the courtroom, and it's always interesting. And I thought to myself, okay, it's possible to make a movie in which you are always in a courtroom, and a courtroom is interesting. So I have to make it clear in my movie, and it's possible to do it. So it gave me a lot of confidence, a lot of looking at this movie.
It's quite fascinating thinking about that a film that is set entirely in a courtroom as opposed to yours, because if we were just in the courtroom, then the audience would be, in a way, be playing the role of the jury. But because we go into the courtroom and we find out more than a jury would, we kind of also take on the role of a private investigator. I find myself like a detective trying to figure out, with all the clues I have, whether Lisa's guilty or not.
I agree with you. We are like a jury, but we also are like a father or mother. We are at the fringe of both. And but there is I wanted to go also to the family because and to make sometimes in the courtroom, sometimes in the family, because I like also the it's always a question how it is when you come back. Can you contrive it? It's impossible to imagine what it is, and I had this curiosity. How is it when you go to a courtroom to live something so extraordinary? How is it when it's so banal to go back to your house? Is it possible? And I wanted to just to feel it. So that's why I write like it.
I know we're getting very close to the end of our time. I've got a question for Melissa from Jen, who's in Brighton. Could you talk about how you interpret Lisa's gesture at the end of a film where she wraps the necklace around her ankle?
My interpretation?
Yes.
At first, my interpretation was like, okay, she's guilty. But then it developed to me. She did that to okay, now it's over, and now I have to walk and to do my life. Any whatever is happening, whatever people say of me, whatever how people see me. Now I just have to go back with this story and do my life.
And Stéphane, what about you?
I would say that I liked a lot this image. I like this image of, you know, you have to finish a movie with a screenplay, with the sense of the movie, and you also have to finish a movie with an image in a plastic way, you know. And I liked when I was writing when I was thinking of the movie, it is an image I always had in myself. I wanted to see this, comment on dit une cheville?
Necklace?
This necklace? How do you say?
Necklace.
Yeah. So I wanted to see this image because there is always the bracelet, the electronic bracelet, and I wanted to see the body without the bracelet and the bracelet with it, because it's I like this image. And of course, I said that it's a movie about interpretation, and you can have all interpretation of this of what she does. She makes it because she's guilty, say some people. It is a proof that she's guilty. And other people who think that she's innocent, they say that she does it because she tells us that she will never forget. Yeah, she will never forget what happened, and that this experience will change her forever, and she will she will have to live with the burden of this accusation that will be a burden forever. So
yeah. Yes, and also I thought that it was the Flora's necklace, le Flora's bijou.
Yep.
And now she put it here on her feet to say it's just me and you. Other people don't have to know, don't have to say what they think. It's just Flora and me.
So as you can see, you can there are a lot of interpretation, and when we go to show the movie, people have their own interpretation, and I like to hear it, because it was the idea of this movie. It's a movie about what is it when you attend to a trial in which there is no evidence, and it happens very often. You have to believe, and people do not believe the same thing. It depends on their sensibility, it depends on their history, it depends on their childhood, it depends on many things. And I wanted that the movie could show that.
Unfortunately, we're going to have to finish in a moment. And Stéphane, I know that we're going to be seeing more of your work in the coming years, both in film and television. But Melissa, as this is your first film and a really fantastic performance, are we going to see more of you on the screen?
Yes, soon on Arte TV. A
So
movie named Hors des Saints.
So we'll continue to see you, which is a very good thing. Thank you, both Melissa and Stéphane, for joining us this evening.
It was our pleasure. I hope you could understand, because we have our very, very strong accents. But
it was perfect.
I'm very happy to talk with you.
It's actually good to hear people outside of London, because we can't get out. So it's great to hear other people around the world. Okay. So thank you for joining us this evening.
Thank you.
Take care. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
Just to let you know about some upcoming events, we still have the Edinburgh Film Festival online screening on Curzon Home Cinema up until the 5th of July. The next screening, I believe, is with a Q&A is going to be on Saturday night with the excellent documentary White Riot. So please do tune into that. And also go on to Curzon Home Cinema. Tell people also to watch The Girl with the Bracelet if they've not seen it, but also go on to Curzon Home Cinema to find out about other upcoming events online. Thank you for joining us, and take care.